Okay, we're gonna go over some horror reprints from EC Comics. So EC Comics was the original publisher of horror comics throughout the late 40s, early 50s, and probably ended in the early 60s. Lots of these issues are very, very expensive these days, and they make for very good reading. Anything from cartoons that appeared in Mad Magazine and other sort of niche horror publications have been reprinted later in the 80s and 90s. So we're going to go through some of them. So we're going to start out with the 24 volume Two-Fisted Tales. And these are kind of cool covers, typically depicting some type of macabre or horror events occurring. And they're very antique looking. Even these reprints sell pretty well. They're not as expensive as the originals, but they are collected, and they can go from $20 to $40 to $50, somewhere in that range for certain issues. Some of the issues can be had cheaper. The set I have is in pretty good condition, and I picked it up a number of years ago for in the neighborhood of $100. Covers are kind of diverse, usually depicting the horror and the story that is contained in the book. And you know, some of them are like Twilight Zones, where there's some, you know, funny ending or moral to the story. And some of them involve war and combat. But what they all have in common is they're all pretty scary stories. So, it's kind of a niche area, and people with lots of resources collect the, the originals. But you really need to be well financed to do that. So, very expensive. So, we're ending. This is the 24th issue. Now we're going to go into the Vault of Horror. And again, I have about 4 or 5 different series. This is the Vault of Horror. There's about 5 or 6 in these series. They're not as big as the Two-Fisted Tales. You'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, it has the word horror. So they made so many different series that's how they're identified in a pile of other books. So this one's basically the Haunt of Fear. So fear's in the top left corner. So we'll do some Vaults of Fear. Covers are pretty cool. If you like scary stuff. So we go from horror to then some suspense crime stories. And these are neat. These stories usually are scary as well. other version is the fantasy, the weird fantasies. There's some pretty famous hardcover versions of these books. They're kind of larger. I think they're 11 by 17, and they're very expensive. Very large books. But the weird fantasy covers sci-fi primarily, outer space, and other sort of supernatural stuff. These covers are very cool. They really have a 50s look, even though these books are newer than that. Now we're going to go into shock suspense stories. So back to the horror genre. So we're in a state of shock with some of these covers. These are the, I guess, the most violent I've seen. People are literally deceased on the covers. Then we have some Tales from the Crypt. Most people have seen some of the movie depictions of Tales from the Crypt. These are pretty cool. I would think that this is where they came from. This is the source, the Tales from the Crypt. And given that Halloween is only a few days away, perhaps this is the right time for these. So that's about going to do it for the horror genre and the reprints. This is Comic Book Narcissist. Hope you enjoyed. Over and out. Like, subscribe,